So I have a question for all you common sense makers about the game Dying Light the Beast, which, by the way, an amazing name for a video game. I can only imagine how much time they must have spent coming up with such a cool name for a video game. So what do you think we should call the game? How about Dying Light the Zombie? No, I think that's a little too straightforward. Well, the guy turns into a beast, so why don't we call it Dying Light the Beast? Yeah, I didn't think of that, but it makes perfect sense. Show of hands, who wants to call it Dying Like the Beast? Everyone puts their fucking hand up because nobody wants to work harder than they have to. But the name of the game isn't why we're making this video. $70 for a game that is made up of a lot of recycled, reused assets is definitely not the most uncommon thing ever. But if they would have pulled this bullshit, say even just 10 years ago, especially with a lack of physical copy, we'll get into that in just a second, especially after releasing a game that they self-admittedly weren't happy with, a game called Dying Light 2, that sure had some good qualities to it, but it missed the mark, especially for Dying Light fans. And I think one of the biggest contributing factors was them being fucking lazy in using tools to create levels for them, which isn't exactly new in this industry either. What is new, however, is our attitudes towards a lot of this bullshit. But let's just quickly pivot back to physical copies. There was a time where both developers and publishers would complain about the high cost of physical distribution, where when they did sell digital only, it would be slightly cheaper than the physical copy. And of course, that didn't last long. And so Techland figures the best way to win back their fans from the disappointment Dying Light 2 was, is to now boast about how their level design is handcrafted. Guys, we know we kinda half-assed Dying Light 2, but I assure you, with Dying Light the Beast, this time around we're going to work hard and actually use humans to create these levels instead of random generation or whatever the fuck it was they were using. Dying Light the Beast is going to be everything we promised Dying Light 2 to be. And you know what? I hope it is, but charging $69.99 for digital only, with everything else considered, it just slightly annoys me. And so you may have asked yourself, why the fuck does digital cost the same as physical to begin with? It's because over time they have convinced us of this perceived value. Instant access, you don't have to worry about storing your games or running out of space for them. But the reality is we always had instant access. They just chose to nuke one form of it for the sake of another form, which we all know now was done for the sake of making more money and of course us having less ownership over these games. It seems like every other month we have to sign a new updated terms of service agreement in order to play the games that we actually paid for, and it just seems like every time they're updating it, we end up with less ownership and rights over our games. And while being able to pick up a physical copy at midnight or the day of release isn't exactly instant, but it was good enough for me, man. I didn't have any fucking complaints. I enjoyed going to those midnight releases. And while there are some plus sides to digital, being able to play a game across multiple different platforms without having to buy it multiple times, that doesn't happen all that often though, does it? Most of these companies are greedy cocksuckers that want to sell you the same thing multiple times over again. And even when they do decide to let us play their game across multiple platforms, it often comes with a catch. The currency doesn't cross over, the saves don't cross over, you have to start that motherfucker all over again. Nobody wants to deal with that shit. Gaming is one of the most anti-consumer cocksuckers you'll ever see. Excuse my French. And I just feel like the negatives outweigh anything positive about digital only. I mean, it really sucks spending your hard-earned money on a game and it ends up being dog shit. It's nice to have the option to be able to trade it in and recoup some of your money. They're trying to take that away from us. And that's definitely not going to pave the way for better games. Resale hurts them the most when the game is trash.